Okay, today we'll see hands-on examples for the Angular routing concept. Okay, so we already covered the theory part. We'll be covering some examples. Okay, so let's start with the defining routes part. Okay, so as we already saw this one, so basically this is a module module file, just like our app module. We have app routing module. And if you see this, right, so we have ng module here, even app module also we have ng module. Right, so if we, but the difference is here in normal module we have all the components and directives pipes inside the declaration, and in the imports we'll be using the modules. Okay, modules which we are going to use in our this module, app module. But whereas the routing module, this is just for defining the routes inside the Angular application. Okay, so first thing is we have to import the router module. Okay, here we are importing, and while we are importing, we are initializing that module with the routes we are going to add here. Okay, inside this, and then we are exporting that module. Okay, so that this module will be available across our application. And if you go to app module, in the app module we will be importing that module here, app routing module. Okay, so if I click on this, it will go to the same file. So now what we have to do is we have to define routes here using the path. Okay, let me say empty path, and let me configure component for that path, which is home component. Okay. Apart from that, if there is a slash home path also, if you want to redirect users to the default one, then what you can do is you can duplicate this path configuration and say home. Okay, home also will go to same component. Okay, this is the basic configuration thing. But let's say inside, okay, let's have another route defined here. Okay, Control C, Control V, and let me say contact us. Okay, so I already have contact us component. Contact us component. Okay, let's go to the app component .html, and looks like we already have these links, but again let's create links from scratch. Okay, now because we have this route defined in the app routing module, and these components will be rendered in app component.html in place of the router outlet. Okay, so now let me have the links here. We can use href, but href will reload the page. Okay, I can say just empty path. Click for home. Okay, let me duplicate that, and let me say contact us. Click for contact us. Okay, let me save it. Let me run the application. So how can we run the application? We can use either ng serve or npm start. Both will do the same. So it is starting up. Meanwhile, let me add some padding between these two links. Otherwise, they'll be one after the other. So there is no gap. Padding. Let me add padding right. Padding right 10 pixel. Okay. Let me open the browser and go to localhost 4200. Okay, so this is my first link and this is my second link. Now because we are at empty path goes to home page, right? So that's the reason home page component is coming. If I click on this slash, the empty one, the same home page component will come. If I click on contact us, okay, contact us basically going back to the empty path. Okay, so why is that? Okay, the spelling is incorrect here. Okay, now contact us is coming. If I click on home is coming. Okay, but if you see here, the page is loading every time. If I click on home, page is loading, but component is coming. If I click on contact us, page is loading, but contact us is coming. But that is not what we want to achieve, right? So we want to basically achieve this updates, whatever we are doing, without loading the page. Okay, for that, Angular gives us the router link. So we have to basically use the router link directive to navigate between routes in the template. Okay, so this is HTML template, right? So in the template, you have to use the router link directive to configure the routes. Now, if I come here and click, page will update, but it will not load the page. Okay, so only it will update this URL and the content inside this page. Okay, but it will not reload the whole page. Okay, and let's see. Let's define some more routes. Okay, so okay, so let me create one more route. Let me say product. Product basically goes to some products component. Okay, let's create one component. Ng generate component product. Okay, to create us the product component. Let me create the component root here and let me save it. Let me go here and in this HTML I want to remove this and I want to add some h2 tag saying product component. Okay, so we don't have that link defined, so let me go here manually product. Okay, product component is working. Now I want to take one parameter, root parameter from here and display it here in the page. Okay, so for that what I have to do, first I have to define the root with the parameter. Okay, so let me put slash here colon, let me say product ID. Okay, product ID. So colon is important here, otherwise this will be a path. Okay, this will be path, so the colon must be there to tell the Angular that this is a parameter. Okay, path parameter. Now let me go to the product component and in here we have to inject one service provided by Angular router. So that is activated route. Okay, activated route, this one. Now in on init you have to use that activated route dot params. Okay, dot params is a observable. Okay, so we have to use subscribe method. In the subscribe method, we get list of params as an array. Okay, so I can say just params, and here let me print those params here. Console.log params, control S. Okay, now I'm at home page. Let me add one more link because every time manual entering is difficult, right? Let me go to app component HTML. Let me just add one more link and say product. Click for product. Okay, let me add some padding so that some space will come. Okay, the product link is not working for some reason. Okay, so basically it is saying the product root is not present because the product slash root IDs we are taking, right? So let's say this one. Product is one root and product slash parameter is another root. Okay, we click on this, it will go to product component. Okay, home component, contact us, product component. Now here in the product component, so let's see where these parameters are coming or not. Okay, let me press F12 and go to console and see something is getting printed. Object is getting printed. Let me refresh. Okay, the empty is getting printed at product component line number 15. Okay, here. So we are printing empty line. Okay, empty object. Okay, it doesn't have anything because we are not passing anything. So let me pass something. 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter. Okay, so now it is passing prod ID as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you can enter anything. Just go to that URL and it will get the product ID here or the path parameter value. Okay, so how can we use that path parameter value to display in my page? Okay, what I can do is here I can define a name variable or product ID variable, product ID of type number. Okay, I can take this one and here this dot product ID equals, let me remove the console log. I can say params of prod ID. Okay, so this parameter and whatever you define in the root configuration, right? This must match because this is the variable name or like the path parameter name you're trying to get, because it can have multiple parameters also. It can have more than one parameter. So that time to identify it differently, so that params of variable name must be, or key name must be this prod ID. Okay, so let me come here and let me verify both are same. Okay, params is this one. So basically when you are subscribed to that params variable of params object of this activated root, it will give you the list of params in like key value pairs. Okay, so just like how we saw here, right, in the console. So now this product ID will contain the prod ID you are passing from this path. Okay, so now I can take this one and go here and I can print here. H3. We have to use the interpolation. Let me save it. Okay, see, you're getting whatever you're passing from here. Okay, I can pass anything. Okay, that is come here. So now what is the advantage of this approach? Okay, let's say you have a product page. Okay, assume that this is your product page. Now let's say you have list of products here. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's add this list of products here. Div button product 1, product 2, 3. Okay, I have 3 products, and when I click on this product, I should go to 1, 2, 3, 4. When I click on this one, I should go to 1, 2, 3, 5. When I click on this one, I should go to 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay. Okay. So fine. Now what we have to do, we have to say the path must be like this. Okay. Product slash product ID, second product ID, third product ID. So if I go here and click on, so the product ID is changing. So now what I can do, I want to add some user-friendly message. Okay. So you are looking at product 1, 2, 3, 6 now. Okay. Now we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 5. Third one is 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay. So this way, if you have multiple products, and whenever you click on one product, basically you are rendering information about that particular product ID. Okay. But where we can get that product ID data, basically we are printing this information here 1, 2, 3, 6. But in usual scenarios, in normal scenarios, you'll be taking this parameter. Okay. And you might be calling some backend service here, backend API call, and then you get data here. Okay. And then here you will basically assign to some variable equals to that response. Okay. And then this sum variable you can go to here and render it using the interpolation. Okay. So that is how normal scenarios work. But whatever example I gave, it is very simple one. Okay. This is path parameters. Let's say you want to take query parameters. Okay. How we can basically do query params. So query params also, you have to use subscription, but to a different variable or like different observable. Instead of params here, you must say query params. Okay. Query params dot subscribe. Then you take params object here. Okay. And then params of, you can say status. Okay. Now we have to pass this status variable as a query param from the template. Okay. This is our template. And here I want to pass query params. Okay. So query params equals query params equals to an object. Okay, so what object I want to pass? I want to pass status object. Status is everything is good. Okay, I'm passing some random data. Let's save it. Okay, just observe the URL. Okay, first one, when I click on it, the path param 1, 2, 3, 4 is coming, and the same way the status query parameter is coming. Query parameters coming will come after the question mark, right, in the URL. So status equal to everything is good. Okay, the spaces are replaced by percentile 20. So that is the default behavior of the browser. And when I click on link third product, nothing is coming. When I click on second product, nothing is coming. When I click on first product, this one is added because we are using this query params um, uh, directive. Okay, so now I want to print this information here. Okay, so what I can do, I can again go here. Instead of that, I can say status is of type string. Okay, I can take this here, I'll assign, and then same variable name I can use here. Save it. Okay, so this is getting printed here. So if I can change to some different value also, that value is getting printed here. Okay, you can pass as many variables as you want to pass. Okay, instead of status, I can say product title. Okay, iPhone 14 Pro. Now I can use the title variable here. Let me put it in H2. Okay, but this title variable is not available in our product component. So for that, we have to go here. We have to define here this of type string, and here we have to use that title variable, and here also we have to change. Okay, so we have two query parameters here. Status is one variable query param, and after ampersand, title is another query param. So this is the first query parameter, and this is the second query parameter value. Okay, so any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Okay, now we'll do the same navigation using the code using the service. Okay, using the code or using some TypeScript code. Now I commented the template thing, so we should not use this. So first, what I have to add? I have to add the click handler and navigate to root, and in this I'll mention this path. Okay, now we don't have this method, right? So let's go ahead and add below on it. Okay, this is sending a string parameter, right? So I can say that variable is path of type string. Okay, to navigate using code, you have to basically pass the router service. Okay, router router. this dot router. Okay, router is not coming. Why? Okay, router dot navigate. Okay, navigate by URL. So here I can say path. Okay, no error is gone. Okay, only for the first link we are using this process, this path or this way. For the second and third link, still it is router link. Okay. Okay, these two are first link and second link. This is the first link, and in the first link, basically, is still going to the page 1, 2, 3, 4, and these two parameters are coming. Okay. This is let me remove this, and here I'll do one thing. Let me copy paste this same thing here and change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay. So the behavior is same. This is changing, right? So whenever I click on product 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. When I click on product 2, 1, 2, 3, 6. The behavior is same. Basically, we are calling a method called navigate to root inside the product component. And in this method, we are taking that path and using the router service to navigate to that URL. So if you want to pass any path parameters or route parameters, so path parameters anyhow we are passing here itself. But the query parameters, if you want to pass, so what you can do is we can use the navigate method instead of navigate by URL, and so basically we have to use an array instead of the string path. Okay, and comma query params, and here I can say status something, and title product title. Okay, so whenever I click on product 1, something product title is coming, but same values will be coming for other two links also, product 2 and product 3 also. Only this one will change, because for all the types of paths we are adding same status and title. Okay, so in case if you want to pass this one separately, what you can do is you can say product and remove this, and here add the second parameter 3, 6. Okay, and here we should take that second parameter as number. So prod ID number, and here the first one is the path, and second parameter in that array is the product ID. So this one will be passed as path parameter, whereas this will be passed as query params. Okay, so the behavior is same. You can see this value is changed. Okay, so any questions so far? Using the router service to navigate between routes instead of using the router link directly in the template itself. Okay, these are two ways you can basically navigate between different routes. Okay. So even child roots also same way. Here we saw the product example is straightforward and simple, but in case if you want to use one as because the path is same, right? Here and here the prefix is same, so in that cases we can use the children object or children root inside this product root itself. So I can move this to here. Here what should I say? I should say children. Children is an array and will have again different roots. Okay. So this is prefix product and I should remove product here. I can say product ID. Okay, colon product ID. So here also once that is done, the behavior is same. Query parameters are coming, but path parameter is not coming for some reason. What is that reason? This is product ID. Product is appending slash already. I should not do this. Let me print this params. Console.log is printing empty. Why? Param. For some reason, this is not coming. Params. Passing it as second parameter. And then here navigate path and the child path. Everything is right, but I'm doing something wrong. Okay, we'll look at it after like in next session. I think something I'm doing right wrong. So let me check on that. Okay. So basically, child roots are something like when you have multiple paths under a single name or a single path, then you can basically define children root. Okay. So let's say your product has a product ID, and in each after the product ID, you can have one more child setup, right? So here you can have comma, and then you can have children again, and you have the array here again, and then you can basically you can copy paste different components. Okay, got it. Let me comment this. Let me close it here. Okay. So now in order to render children components or children routes, then what we have to do is we have to have a router outlet in this parent component. Okay. So this will be rendered in app component, right? Because in app component we have router outlet, and here those are getting rendered, right? But whereas if you have any children, so it doesn't know where to render these children. Okay. In that case, basically we have to tell Angular, okay, in this component, render all these child components, these components. Okay. So let's go here and let's go to the HTML and add router outlet here. Okay. So now just below those three buttons, it will try to render whatever component you configured for that child components. Okay. Now see here, in this, say we are using product component, in the same product component, here it is getting that value is coming, but here it's not coming because that is the parent component. Parent component, it is not able to identify this path. Okay. Why it is not able to identify? Because in the routing configuration for the parent parent component, we didn't define any path param, but here we define the path param. That's the reason in child rendering it is showing, we are basically rendering same component, but in the second rendering it is showing the product ID, but in the first rendering it's not showing. So for that reason, let's remove this and create another component called product details. Okay, here I want to use product details component. Okay, now let's move. Let's go to the product details component, and here okay, some stuff is already there. I think this is old stuff. Okay, let me remove this and product details component. Okay, the product details component is coming here. But let's basically add H1 here for better visibility. Product details component is coming. Now let's go to the product component and remove this. Basically, this is confusing us, right? So remove this. Let me cut it. Let me go to product details, and here let me add this. And let me go to the product component again and copy this stuff. Let me replace it here. Let me define this variable here. Status string title string. Okay. Okay. So basically this line and the buttons, this whatever I selected, right? So that is basically the product component. And this is the child component, that is the product details component, right? So whenever I click on, basically it is passing this ID and we are receiving that ID and displaying it in child component. Okay. Here I'm not rendering the title and status, right? Let's do that also. H3 title and status. Okay, status and title also coming. Okay, so this is how you basically display child pages or child components. Okay, so click for home basically renders this component, click for contact us renders this component, and click for product renders this component and some links. Okay, when I click on these links, again some child components will be rendered. Okay, so any doubts? Okay, so I think we covered all the topics in the routing.
Okay.
Okay. Like last time itself, we covered the this redirecting and wildcard routes also, right? Okay. So yeah, tomorrow let's start with the forms then.